Hey stars, welcome back to CodeStar, where we code with the stars. Something big just hit the front-end world. On August 28th, Dominic Ganaway made waves on his X page when he officially open-sourced the Ripple project. Now, if you've been around the front-end scene, you've probably come across his work, even if you didn't realize it. Dominic has literally worked with almost every major front-end framework company out there. From building Inferno, that blazing fast React alternative that once shook the web, to joining Facebook's React team back in 2016, and then later contributing to Vercel alongside the Svelte team in 2023, this guy has seen it all. And that's exactly why I'm excited about Ripple, his new project that promises to reimagine the way we build reactive UIs. When someone with that kind of experience launches something new, you know it's worth paying attention to. So today, we're diving in, Ripple versus React, what it is, how it works, and whether it might just be the next big thing in front-end development. Let's get started. So, Ripple TS, this is where things start getting really interesting. Ripple TS is the first modern TypeScript UI framework built by Dominic and his team. Now, I describe it as a condensed JSX compiler and view library, but unlike React, which is expression-driven, Ripple TS is statement-driven, and trust me, that one difference changes everything. But wait, what does that even mean, statement-driven versus expression-driven? Let me break it down real quick. In JavaScript, and by extension React, you usually work with expressions. In the word of programming, an expression is something that produces a value. A statement, on the other hand, performs an action. This is quite difficult to comprehend at first, but trust me, you will be fine. React, at its core, is expression-driven, meaning your UI is built around returning expressions, functions that evaluate to elements. Every component is essentially a function that returns a value. React components are all about returning expressions. What should the UI evaluate to based on state? Ripple TS is statement-driven, meaning you describe actions, what your component does step by step, and Ripple handles the reactivity automatically under the hood. Hey stars, now let's get our hands dirty. We're going to create two projects, one for React and the other for Ripple, so we can truly see what sets them apart. First, I'll head over to my desktop and create a brand new folder called Ripple React. Then open it right inside the command prompt. Easy way to do that. Just type cmd in the folder's path bar, hit enter, and boom, we're in the terminal. Next, let's set up the React project. Head over to the official Vite website and grab the command to create a new project. npm create Vite at latest. Let's run that, and when it asks for the project name, I'll type React. Now it'll prompt us to select a framework, so I'll go with React. And for the variant, let's choose TypeScript, because hey, we're coding with type safety today. Once everything installs, copy the local development URL and paste it right into the browser. And there it is, our shiny new React app running perfectly. Now I'll head back to the terminal, stop the server with Ctrl+C, and open the entire project in Visual Studio Code. And boom, we're ready to explore React from the inside out before we bring Ripple into the mix. Alright stars, now that we have React ready, here's what we're about to do. We're going to compare the syntax and behavior of Ripple and React side by side, not in theory, but with real code. To keep things simple and practical, we'll build a counter app in both frameworks. It's going to have a button to increase the count, a button to decrease the count, and a computed variable that doubles the current count, updating live as the number changes. Basically, every time we click the plus or minus button, both the count and its double will react in real time. This will help us see how Ripple's statement-driven design differs from React's expression-driven nature. And trust me, once you see how Ripple handles reactivity, you'll realize it's doing something very different under the hood. First, I'm going to import use memo from React, We'll use that later to calculate the doubled value of our counter efficiently. Now, let's start with our count button. I'll modify this one to be our plus button, and then just copy and tweak the same code to create the minus button. Simple. Next up, let's display our counter in the UI. I'll add an H2 element that says counter, and right below it, two paragraphs, one showing the current counter value and the other showing the doubled value. React syntax here is easy peasy. Using the useMemo hook, we'll create a callback function that returns twice the counter value every time the counter changes. Store that in a variable called double. But hey, quick heads up, my YouTube dashboard shows that about 95.1% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. Come on guys, let's fix that. Hit that subscribe button and help us keep building this amazing developer community. Thank you. Now, to make things clean, let's add a reset button. It'll set the counter back to 0 whenever we click it. But here's the fun part, we'll make sure the reset button only shows when the counter isn't 0. Keep your eyes on the React conditional rendering syntax, it's straightforward but powerful. Alright, heading back to the browser, and there we go. When I click on the plus button, the counter increases, when I click on the minus, it decreases, and when I hit reset, boom, it resets right back to 0. And hey, if you're wondering where all this styling magic is coming from, it's actually just the default CSS that ships with React when you first create the app using Vite. I haven't touched a single line of it, this is exactly how it comes out of the box. So if you create your own React app, you'll get the same clean layout right away. Alright stars, now let's spin up our Ripple app. Their GitHub repository is our source of truth, so I'll just head there and grab the command npx create Ripple. Quickly run that right inside the terminal, and when it asks for the app name, I'll just press enter to use the default, My Ripple app. Quick heads up. For some reason, if you type your own app name, Ripple sometimes struggles to start the server, so just stick with the default for now. Next, I'll choose Vanilla CSS, simple and clean, and initialize Git with it. Of course, you can go with Tailwind CSS or any other option you prefer. Once that's done, let's cd into our My Ripple app directory. Install all the packages, and then run the app. And here we go. This is our Ripple application up and running. Don't hesitate to click around and explore it, it's super lightweight and starts up blazing fast. Alright, let me quickly close the React app, because now, we're diving into the new UI framework in town, Ripple. Right away, you'll notice something interesting. Instead of using the function keyword like we do in React, Ripple uses component. That's already a mindset shift. Now take a look at the syntax, it feels familiar, but at the same time, you can tell it's not JSX. It doesn't rely on return statements or nested parentheses like React does. Everything inside the component just flows, it's like writing pure HTML, CSS, and logic together without boilerplate. You write your HTML-like markup directly inside the component. And the compiler takes care of transforming it into efficient DOM updates. You'll also notice the use of the @ symbol. This is Ripple's way of referencing reactive state. So @count means you're tracking that value, and the UI will automatically update when it changes. It's Ripple's built-in reactivity system, no hooks, no use state, no use effect. Alright, now I'm going to do the exact same thing we did in the React app, our simple counter. But this time, we're doing it with Ripple, and I want you to really pay attention to how it handles reactivity. In Ripple, we use the track keyword to make a variable reactive, and the @ symbol to reference that variable anywhere in our template. That's it. No hooks, no state functions, no extra boilerplate, it's all baked right into the language. Now, let's display our counter in the UI, just like we did in the React version. Notice how clean it looks, there's no return statement or JSX wrappers. And for the conditional rendering of the reset button, look at how simple it gets. We just use a regular if statement. No curly braces, no ternary operators, just plain script doing its thing. I'm not touching the default CSS that comes with Ripple. We'll keep it exactly as it is so you can see the framework in its raw form. Alright, let's head to the browser. And there it is, our Ripple counter app up and running beautifully. You can increment, decrement, reset, and watch how effortlessly the UI updates. Feel free to play around with it and explore just how smooth Ripple's reactivity feels compared to React. I just realized something, our counter is being displayed twice here. Let me quickly take one of them out so we only have a single display. And while I'm at it, I'll also change the second paragraph's text from count to doubled, so it actually reflects the variable we're showing. Alright, that looks much better. Everything seems fine in the browser now. I think I will also remove the h2 element, because the counter heading doesn't really look nice in this layout. Let's head back to the browser again. Yeah, there it is. Much cleaner now. Honestly, I think Ripple could be a real game changer. What I really love about it is the reactivity, it just feels smooth and natural. But to be honest, I'm still not a big fan of the syntax. And for now, I'm still sticking with React and Next.js, they've been my go-to for a reason. Ripple is still in its early development stage, so let's give it time and see if Dominic and his team can truly solve every developer's headache. And maybe, just maybe, become the next big thing in the UI world. I believe Dominic's track record speaks for itself, so yeah, I'm watching this space closely. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, so you don't miss more exciting comparisons and dev content like this. And hey, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Ripple has what it takes to compete with React? Drop your opinion in the comments below. And if you want to check out the code for both Ripple and React, I've left the link down in the description. Until then, stay safe, keep building, and remember, you are the star.